Good morning, everyone. I'm Chloe. Today, I will share my road to become a creative writer, narrate individual destinies. Here is the table of contents. There are 4 sessions in total. To begin with, I will introduce my background and my career goal. I'm a third-year student studying language studies, Chinese major, and I want to be a Chinese writer who can narrate ordinary individuals' destinies and employing a variety of creative writing techniques. So the question is, what is the writing of individual destinies? It emphasizes the individual perspective, weaving personal experience, feelings, thoughts, and insights into the creative process. Through this, it records the fluctuations of life, lived experience, and psychological shift of the individual against the backdrop of the times. Next, I would like to share with you how my university experience helped me become a creative writer. During my time at university, I underwent 2 major transformations. At secondary school, I was a pure reader. By the time I reached university, I gradually learned how to write and why I write. I become a novelist writer. This is the part I would like to focus on today. In my internship, I experienced the transitions from writer to editor. For this session, it will be shared with a video format. Firstly, I would like to share my experience from the creative writing course. In my secondary school years, although I memorized many writing techniques to prepare for exams, I never truly explored how these techniques could be effectively applied to creative writing. It was not until university that creative writing course opened the door to writing for me. During the course, I not only explored different literary works, but also had the opportunity to write prose, modern poetry, and short fictions. I also employ a range of creative writing techniques, such as metaphor and symbolism, to construct articles based on detailed observation in daily life. As you can see from the picture on the right, an artist has captured a scene from the streets of Hong Kong in a simple form. This is a subtle observation of everyday life. However, I also faced some challenges along the way. When I writing the prose, modern poetry, and short fictions, I found myself often tending toward a straightforward, factual style, merely recording events as they happened. For instance, when I attempt to describe the abstract pressure of studies, I would typically just list the overlog, resulting in words that lack emotion, depth, and resonance, with the narrative remaining superficial. To overcome this bottleneck, I tried applying the method I had learned in class, observing the work in detail. I interviewed some friends to gain a deeper understanding of their true feelings when facing academic pressure. Finally, I identified 3 core keywords: shackle, suffocation, and numbness. Building on this, I created stories using the imagery of a fish out of water as a metaphor for a young girl struggling under academic pressure. The results showed that this approach proved highly effective. The outcome achieved an A grade. The creative writing course taught me how to give tangible form to abstract emotions and to blend personal life experience with creative writing techniques, providing me with valuable experience for my future work in individual writing. Since completing the course, I have become even more aware that keen observation and the spirit of continuous creativity are 2 key areas I need to keep developing as I pursue my writing career. It also demonstrates my progress in GEJ4020 For the problem-solving skills, I can identify the issues I was facing while writing and produce solutions. I also reflect on the outcomes of the problem-solving process. For the creative thinking, I can perceive the connection between the abstract and the tangible and express my ideas in innovative and original ways. Secondly, I think the modern Chinese literature course was a great help to me in becoming a creative writer. This course helped me understand the significance of writing. As I mentioned earlier, during my secondary school, I was merely a passive reader. Most of the time, I would simply recite the main ideas of the text as required by my teachers, without delving deeper into why the text had been written. The modern literature course helped me to think about why I write. In this course, I not only learned about the historical context in which modern Chinese literature emerged, but also analyze, appreciate, and evaluate various literary works. This has enabled me to go beyond merely analyzing the trace of words and phrasing in the text. I also encountered some confusion during the course. Studying in Lu Xun's call to arms left me deeply moved. Lu Xun was using his writing to arouse those who are asleep. However, Lu Xun was also wrestling with a dilemma. Once awakened, was it right to make them endure the agony of knowing they could not change their situations? That gives me a pause. I have never really thought about the meaning of writing before. I simply write, but never consider what happens after I have written it. But the meaning of writing cannot simply answer. Hence, I began to look within myself. In this age of abundant information, we can easily get to know all manners of celebrities through social media. However, the stories and the faces of ordinary people are rarely recorded. I therefore decided to dialogue with readers through my writing, using words to capture the stories of ordinary individuals against the backdrop of the times. In doing so, I hope to raise awareness of social issues. At last, I had clear writing objective. The course on modern Chinese literature has taught me to keep questioning my own perspective. When I write about ordinary people's stories, however, I'm forced to confront a challenge. Are my words worthy of capturing this life? Writing about others requires a sense of responsibility. It cannot simply rely on sentimentality. Consequently, I must also refine my writing skills to ensure they are equal to the task. At the same time, I must collect writing resources with equal care and caution to ensure I do not violate the ethics of professional writing. Moreover, this course has enhanced my critical thinking skills. For instance, in defining issues, I realized that the key consideration in writing is the purpose. I then reflect on and analyze the current social context before making a choice. Finally, I established my own position. Furthermore, my internships at Central Culture gave me the opportunity to put what I have learned into practice. As an editorial trainee, I was responsible for drafting, proofreading, and following up on government projects. This experience allowed me to network with industry professionals and keep abreast of industry trends. Also, I understand the relationships between authors, publisher, the market, and readers. This internship showed my second significant change. I will discuss this in more detail in the video format. Finally, in the concluding section, I will share my future goals. First is my short-term plan. I plan to intern at publishing house or related institutions within 1 to 2 years. I also plan to gain industry experience. Also, I will regularly create works, produce a portfolio, and try publishing on social media. To improve my writing skills, I will attend various literature or writing workshops. Next is my long-term goals. I hope to enter the publishing industry and write articles after graduation. If possible, I also hope to publish a book. I know this goal have some difficult for me right now, but I will try my best to achieve them and becoming a creative writer who can bring hope to individuals. That's all in my presentation. Thank you for listening. Go to the reference.
Okay, so now we will have our last